Welcome once again for fun and research giving you at the kind of very important. More important is that, especially as I've studied and researched it, and most importantly implemented it in my own life over the last few years. And we're going to be discussing about how the Alkaline lifestyle will dramatically increase fat loss, your energy levels, importantly for all of us, and for those we love, it'll help fight disease. So it's going to be great information. It's going to be shared with you. And as always, have pen and paper with you, take loads of notes, but also ask loads of questions. Now, if you're new to webinars, on the left of your control box, you'll see audio and you'll see questions. Click the question one if you ever want to type in questions. We may answer some questions during the presentation, or we will definitely get an answer by the end where we have a specific Q&A section. So, get ready for an amazing call and, listen, close everything else down, pay full attention. If you're going to be on this, make sure you put the right effort in and listen, pay attention, ask lots of questions. And I have the pleasure of having Andrew O'Leary as our guest expert, who's an alkalinity expert. And Andrew's someone I met about a year ago. And, we came across each other because of the alkaline lifestyle and because I was moving more and more towards that direction and going 100% vegan at the start of 2012. So Andrew would have noticed that, and, we had a common interest in that. And we got to know each other. We've become good friends. And, Andrew's a great guy and he's loads to share. And he has an amazing personal journey with the alkaline lifestyle. And now he dedicates his life entirely to helping people and educating people in why they need to go more alkaline. And like this, increase fat loss, energy, and fighting disease. So I just want to check, Andrew, can you hear me okay?
I can hear. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you great, Andrew. And thanks a lot for taking the time to come on the call. I know you've had a very busy day and out there again helping and educating people all day. So thanks for your time.
Thank you very much, Dave. I appreciate it. You can probably see my desk at the moment.
I've just made you presenter. So did you click yes on the option to give you?
Yes.
Okay.
Just have a look here.
Once it's seen, probably come up now in a second. So it shows to go to webinar welcome slide.
Okay, you can see that now.
Oh, here we go. Now it says welcome the alkaline lifestyle. Perfect. So just maximize. So just there, bottom right, yeah. Just to make sure.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So guys, make sure lots of questions. I'll be keeping an eye on the question box. I'll bring up any questions during the presentation if I think it's relevant at the time. Otherwise, as I said, we have a dedicated question time at the end. So enjoy, and Andrew, looking forward to hearing this great presentation.
Thanks very much, Dave. Thanks for a wonderful introduction. As I said, as Dave mentioned there, my name is Andrew O'Leary, and I am Managing Director of a company called 7.2. We like to call ourselves the Alkaline Company. I'll get into that a bit later, but the purpose of tonight's webinar, I guess, is to talk to you a bit about something that affects all of us, and that's energy. So the same energy that makes your heart beat 100,000 times a day without you even thinking about it, it's the energy that provides thought and makes you who you are today. And what I'd like to do this evening is give you an opinion. So when I say it's an opinion, it's not medical advice. It's I'm giving you something that I've discovered over the last couple of years by reading approximately 200 books in the area of health and wellness, and it specifically deals, the information that I'm going to share with you tonight specifically deals with the area of alkalinity, what it's about, how to live an alkaline lifestyle. I'll get it into some technical details as we go through the presentation, but if you do have any questions, by all means type them into the box and I'll be happy to answer them at the end of the presentation. So to use your own common sense to see whether or not my opinion holds true to you, what I'd like you to do is make your own decision. So what I'm saying is, if it makes sense to you or not, you have to decide, and the best way to believe or decide is to test it with your body. So what I'd like you to do, at the end of this presentation, I'm going to give you 10 days, a 10-day test, so to speak, and 4 or 5 things that you need to do in order to get your body alkaline. And if you can try it out for a couple of days, let me know whether you feel a difference. So in other words, you be the judge of whether alkalizing your body sees positive results or not. And how you'll do that is at the end of this presentation, I'll give you, I think it's 4 different steps that you can take through the course of maybe 10 days to get from an acidic state, which is what most people are currently at, into an alkaline state. So it's a 10-day test. You don't have to believe a word that I say right now. You can just test it and your body can judge the results. So if you do what I ask you to do at the end of the webinar, you could actually have a brand new life as a result of today's discussion. So it's quite important that you listen to the overall presentation, but more importantly that you actually take action at the end of the presentation. So today could ultimately be the day that you decide to take control of your life and steer it in the right direction. So my goals for this evening. Sorry, just move this over a little. My goals for this evening are, 1, to really affect your philosophy about the things called your health. I really want to affect your philosophy on health by the way you look at health and the way you look at disease, okay? Because if we don't understand the problem, it's going to be very difficult for you to understand why you should fix it. What I'd ask you to do is have an open mind. Don't argue with it. Take notes, as it says on the right-hand side. Take it in. Don't let your current belief systems completely destroy anything I'm going to say. So don't block it out. And just take it in first, then test it, and then respond. So if you can type into the box there, how many of you are willing to do that today? Please respond by typing yes. Okay. Number 2 is I want to help you to eliminate fear. So there's so many people that live their lives in fear. You don't have to be afraid, and I'm going to show you how. Okay. Number 3, I want to show you how you can massively change levels of energy you currently experience today. Years ago, when I was younger, I was big into fitness. Okay, I wasn't concerned about this mamby-pamby thing called health. And what there is, you'll see a lot of athletes today who are more concerned about their fitness levels than they are their health. And that's why you'll find that, a lot of athletes today are getting what's called sudden death syndrome, or contracting diseases such as cancer, diabetes, so on and so forth. So they're more concerned about their levels of fitness as opposed to their health. So there is a distinction between the two, and I want to get into that in a bit more as we go through this presentation. Sorry, trying to change the slide here. Okay, so my story, the reason why I got into alkalizing. Way back in 1985, I was pretty fit as a youngster. I guess you could say I was considered one of the fastest boys in my class. 1986 I started Taekwondo, and that was my first introduction to martial arts. I still do martial arts today. I'm a qualified bodyguard, a second-degree black belt in Mugendo kickboxing. But back in 1986 is where I started my journey into martial arts. In 1990, I was a cross-country runner for Airfield Athletics Club. In 1995, I was a qualified lifeguard and a member of the swim team. In 1996, I was a sprinter, 1 and 200 meter sprinter for Clonliffe Harriers. And in 1998, when I was in college, I was a sprinter for RTC Tala Kempo. And then in 2002, I began bodybuilding and introduced whey protein. So at this time, in around 2002, I spoke to a nutritionist about how I can actually potentially gain more muscle, because I was quite thin and I hadn't had a lot of muscle mass at that time. So they recommended that I start to eat things like whey protein, eat more meat, eat tuna, which I'll show you down the line, caused severe problems. In 2006, I had severe hay fever during the summer months. 2007, I noticed a lot of coughs and colds every month, chest infections, and I was prescribed steroids. In 2008, I had asthma attacks quite regularly, no history of asthma in the past. I was starting to put on weight, and in 2009 was about the time that I started again the kickboxing, but my levels of fitness had started to improve, but my overall health was declining. And I think the fundamental reason behind that was because of the diet that I was prescribed by a nutritionist at the time. He'd asked me to drink more dairy, eat more meats, eat more what we call acidic foods, which I'll get into in later slides. But by 2011, I had very low energy. I was unable to concentrate, and I needed a solution quick. So around that time, I read about 200 books in the area of health and wellness, and I came across what's commonly referred to as the alkaline lifestyle. 2012, by adopting the alkaline lifestyle, so in other words, eating more alkaline-based foods, I started to, my energy levels went through the roof, and I lost 3 stones in weight effortlessly. I put on a lot of weight as a result of the diet. So what are we, when you think of the actual cause of disease and the source of disease, most people will say it's germs or it's a virus. I'm going to show you this evening what the reality actually is. And the reality is we're being treated in this country and around the world in a way that puts our health at risk. Am I attacking the medical profession? Absolutely not. And I'll give you a frame of reference. Medical doctors, as far as I'm concerned, work harder than anyone you ever know. Some of you think a lot of them, a lot of doctors are rich and they're playing golf. I don't know many of them that actually do that. Most of them are committed. They've committed their lives because they care about being human. They care about human beings, and they're working at the expense of their own health and their own livelihoods. Most of them go to college for about 10 or 20 years, and after that time they usually go into debt by trying to set up their own practice to become a GP. They're some of the greatest human beings alive, and when I learned about what I know today, I used to attack them. So I used to attack their philosophy about medicine, so on and so forth. But what I wanted the point I'm trying to make is that doctors are incredible people, but we have put doctors in a horrible position. Doctors are not in the wellness industry, as most people will know. You only go to a doctor when you're sick. So as far as I'm concerned, most doctors are in the sickness industry. So they can only advise you when it's too late. They can't prevent what's coming to you. So that's why I always say prevention is better than cure. So you want to prevent disease in the body before it occurs. You want to spend your lifetime preventing the disease so you don't have to go and see your doctor. If you look at the World Health Crisis, diabetes is quickly becoming an epidemic, with 69% of adults considered overweight or obese. The New England Journal of Medicine says that obesity is such that the generation of children could be the first, basically, in the history of the US, that applies to the rest of the world as well, to live less healthy and shorter lives than their parents. So we've got an epidemic going on in the world. And the cause of the epidemic, what most scientists believe today, is what's called the acid alkaline diet, in terms of the food that we eat on a consistent basis. So it begins and ends at the cellular level. As your cells go, so do you go. Cells are extremely sensitive. So the quality of your life will determine on the quality of your cells. A good analogy is if you think about a goldfish in a goldfish bowl. If you saw that the water was murky around the goldfish, what would you do? Would you throw a load of tablets on top of that goldfish, or would you change the water for the goldfish? So the quality of your life will determine the quality of your cells. Most people look at their blood cells and they think that they look like the picture in front of you there. 9 times out of 10, your blood cells are covered in acids, candida, wheat, and other microforms are usually centrally around the blood cells, and that's because you create an environment by the foods that you eat. You create an acidic environment, and within the acidic environment, most diseases proliferate. So what do cells need to not only survive but also thrive? The number one source of energy that your cells must have is usually oxygen. So not food, but oxygen. So when you're tired, the number one thing you must do is get more oxygen into your system. Whenever you've got pain, it's usually because you don't have enough oxygen in that area. So if you think about it, you've got a backache. It's usually because there's not enough oxygen around that area, which causes inflammation, which thus usually refers generally around that area is where pain hits the most. The second thing is that cells need, in order to thrive, is nutrients. So you don't get enough nutrients from the foods that we eat on a day-to-day basis. Usually that's because of the harmful additives that are included in foods, or the pesticides that are added to vegetables and fruits that we eat on a day-to-day basis. Because what most of us consider to be food does not have any nutrition usually left in it. It's usually totally devitalized, and it doesn't have, it doesn't actually give the cells anything. So food either has to be assimilated or eliminated. So when you eat foods with no nutritional value, it needs to be eliminated, which requires usually more energy, resulting in more energy lost than gained. So all the nerve energy is being wasted away, and you go into a negative energy cycle. So that's why some of us will have 8 hours sleep and still be tired the following morning. Number 3 would then be water. You need to consume more water than you eliminate toxins from the body on a daily basis. And it has to be good quality water, usually alkaline-based water, which has a certain pH, but I'll get into that in more detail. So let me talk to you about just a second about what scientists have discovered about the cause of disease. The latest research suggests that germs are not the single cause of disease. So if you think about it, they can contribute it to disease, but they are not the cause. So when you have the flu, it's not necessarily just about the flu virus jumping in and getting you. There has to be a series of factors. So I want you to think about that for a second, that there's more than one cause of disease. It's first of all the virus, and then second of all the environment in which the virus proliferates. So not all organisms infected with viruses will show signs of disease. Someone could have a lot of germs in their system and never show any signs of disease. So when you open your paper on, for example, on the 1st of January, it's usually there's usually a guarantee that you are going to be hearing about some form of disease or some form of flu that's going to go out and get you. But it has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with this microform that's going to attack you in some way. It's 9 times out of 10 is to do with the lifestyle that you live. An example would be around Christmas time. Usually what happens is most of us eat and consume a lot of acidic foods. I'll go into that in a little bit more detail, but when we consume these sort of foods, the microforms in our bodies proliferate and potentially cause disease in the body. So in today's world, 4 out of 5 people will die, unfortunately, of cancer, heart disease, or stroke. And the cells of a healthy body are alkaline, while the cells of a diseased body are acidic. So if you just think about that for a second. New York Times magazine wrote that the surprising link between inflammation and heart attacks, cancer, Alzheimer's, and other diseases. So in other words, when there's inflammation in an area, it's usually a first sign that you're heading towards potentially a heart attack, cancer, or Alzheimer's. The inflammation is caused by excess acid in the body. So your body is like an electrical magnet. In order to maintain a powerful energy, for example, an energetic electrical current that it has today, it has to have a certain pH. So there's a certain basis between what we call acid and alkaline in the system, and it's important in maintaining the temperature of your body. So on a scale from 0 to 14, 0 being usually highly acidic, in other words, it would burn a hole in the table like battery acid, and then 14 being highly alkaline, the middle of which would be 7 like water. Most of us, well, we should be at 7.365, so that's the ideal pH of the body. Unfortunately, a lot of people are on the other side of the scale, which means that they're more acidic than they are alkaline. And when this happens, disease symptoms begin to occur. And the reason why this happens is because when you're acidic, more than likely you've got toxins in your blood and you've got toxins in your system, and it causes a vicious cycle that essentially causes the microforms to proliferate, causes diseases to grow, and essentially your body becomes a scurry of disease. So if you think about it in an analogy would be, for example, if you're in New York City, and if you look at the population of rats in New York City, population of rats is probably about 3 to every 1 person that's in New York City. So they've got a high population of rats, and usually if you were to take away the food from New York City, what will inevitably happen is that the rats will die. It's the same scenario with your blood. If you take away the acidity, which are the toxins and the sugars from your blood, the candida and the microforms and all of the bacteria and so on and so forth can no longer feed off those acids. So the natural occurrence that begins to happen is that they die out and there's less and less of them in your blood. So the body needs to be at 7.36, and it's the ideal, which is slightly more alkaline. Now, for example, your stomach, which has hydrochloric acid in it, in that area you're going to have more acid. But the blood needs to be at 7.36, and it's what takes the oxygen everywhere throughout your body. In order to transfer oxygen throughout your body, your blood needs to maintain that 7.36, and it will do everything in its power to maintain that pH level. Typical example of how it maintains that is when we consume dairy, for example. We are taking in something that's highly acidic because dairy is essentially lactose. When that goes into the body, the first thing that happens is calcium is leached directly from the bones in order to buffer the acids directly from the body. So what's happening there is the body is trying to maintain that very sensitive pH, and it does everything in its power. And that example is when calcium is leached directly from the bones to help buffer the acids out of the system. So it essentially robs the minerals from vital organs or vital bones in order to eliminate the acids from the body. So your blood needs to be at 7.36. It's so important that if this figure were to vary 1 or 2 points, you would die instantly, because it would change the chemistry where there would be no chemical power, so everything shuts down. That's how important alkalinity is essentially to your body, and that's why we discuss alkalizing on a regular basis. It's a new way of thinking about health, and it's what's part of what we call the alkaline movement. So when you eat acidic foods or drink acidic drinks, you put all this acid, and just change the slide. So If you have a look at this slide here, it's an example of highly acidic and highly alkaline-based foods. So you probably guessed it already. On the right-hand side, you've got asparagus, cayenne pepper, melons, kelp, usually the things that we would consider to be healthy. Fruits, vegetables, avocados, and almonds on the alkaline side. And then on the acidic side, you've got the meat, fish, legumes, nuts, dairy, the sugar, colas, sodas, alcohol, and white bread. So when you eat acidic food or drink acidic drinks, you put all this acid into your system and it jeopardizes your health. So if you think about it, like there's probably a vicious cycle that's going on in your body at the moment when your body is acidic. You kind of really want to make sure a change. Most people want to lose weight, and how they go about it usually is they'll go out and begin to diet. If you look at the first three letters in diet, it's DIE, which is probably what you're doing, because you're essentially robbing your body of essential nutrients by controlling the number of calories that you eat on a day-to-day basis and reducing the amount of nutrition that you should be getting, which is required for the cells to properly function within the body. So what actually happens is you'll go out and begin to diet. You'll say, I've got to exercise, but you begin to worry about it, which usually causes more acid in the body. So when you exercise, you usually exercise extremely hard for the first time that you get set and get into it. And usually when this happens is you'll produce a massive amount of lactic acid in the system. So it produces a cycle. Usually 9 times out of 10 you can't lose any weight when this happens, because you're over acidic, you're not overweight. So the fat needs to remain there to protect the vital organs, and you never actually lose the weight because it's the body's protective mechanism keeping it there to defend and ward off disease. It's only when you begin to alkalize that you actually see results. So what are the benefits of alkalinity or alkalizing? Usually, when you start to alkalize, the first thing you'll notice is a reduction in inflammation. Now, inflammation in the body can cause pain. It can cause aches in the morning. It can cause arthritis. It can, every sort of itis imaginable is usually related to excess inflammation in the body. When you start to alkalize, you reduce the acids in the body and therefore reduce inflammation. Your skin begins to improve because the nutrients are actually getting through to your skin, whereas when you're highly acidic, the nutrients are absorbed to buffer the acids out of your system. Your health and energy improve dramatically. Your energy levels usually go through the roof the first time you try it. I know the first time I tried alkalizing, within the first week or so, I noticed dramatic differences in my energy. My concentration levels improved, and my overall health improved dramatically as well. You'll find that you'll need less sleep because you don't need as much energy when you're sleeping to eliminate the excess acid from your body. When you're alkaline, you probably only need maybe 5-6 hours sleep for the entire night. You'll actually wake up more refreshed and you'll have a lot more energy for the day. Because you no longer need the excess fat, which helps protect your vital organs, it naturally emulsifies from your body. So you actually naturally maintain a healthy weight. There's no need for the fat, and it's actually the healthiest way of losing the weight, because if you think about it, if you're acidic and you have fat, it's a good protective mechanism for the organs in your body. When your cells are working properly, so in other words, the electrolytes are working in conjunction with the organs within your body. Your mental clarity improves because the synapses and the electrical signals are transported through your body a lot more effectively. So essentially that improves your overall mental clarity, and you start to lose the fuzziness that's usually associated with excess acid in the system. So what I'd like you to do over the next, say, 10 days or so is, first thing is what's called oxygenating, and that means getting more oxygen to your cells. Now, I don't know if any of you do that out there, but it's a great way of getting more oxygen into your system, and that's by doing what's called breathing at a ratio 1 to 4 to 2. So what I mean by that is, if you were to breathe in for 7 seconds, hold for 4 times that amount, so hold for 28 seconds, and then breathe out for 14 seconds. And the reason why you're doing this, number one, you're breathing in, you're expanding the diaphragm, and the oxygen is being transported into the lower bronchioli, which is the where most oxygen is actually produced in the system. The second reason is you're stimulating what's called the lymphatic system. Now, the lymphatic system is like the toxic system of the body, or the waste sewage system of the body. It allows you to eliminate waste more rapidly when you breathe in deeply, and when you breathe out at a ratio of 2. So, for example, if you were to breathe out for 14 seconds, what would happen is the breath that you breathe out eliminates more toxins through your breath, as well as stimulating the lymphatic system, which eliminates the toxins from your system. So if you did that and repeated for 10 times, 3 times daily. Second thing that I'd like you to do is to superhydrate. So what that involves is drinking maybe 3 liters of water a day, and try and include a green drink if possible. You should try and eliminate acidic foods from your diet. So, for example, dairy and meat would be a complete no-no. Coffee as well is extremely acidic, so try and eliminate that from your diet. Coffee, tea, anything with caffeine is considered to be highly acidic. And try and eat as much as 70% of the alkaline foods that are on the chart. So try and eat more vegetables, try and eat more greens, try and eat more salads, and you can also increase to the 70% by including a green drink in your drink on a day-to-day basis. So I'll just hand you over to Dave. I think Dave wants to share something with you regarding the... Dave, are you there?
Yeah, I'm on now, Andrew. Great stuff and great information, as always. Again, you have a lot to share, and the powerful thing about yourself as well is it's impacted you personally. Like, you've had your own journey, and it's impacted your energy and your body shape and everything in huge ways. So it's great to hear how it's worked for you. And what's excellent now as well, guys, is to have these 4 steps that you can implement, these 4 action steps, and the key thing is to do them. It's like Andrew said at the start. The important thing for you to do is to listen to it, keep an open mind, and then take the information on board and then start implementing it. Then you get to see for yourself whether this information works for you or not, or to what degree. So make sure you do these things, because everyone can do these things. It just takes that little bit of effort. Before we go into some questions, the guys, just keep typing any questions you have into the question box. Before we have any questions, I was quickly going to, just for a minute or two, just speak about Formula for Success. So we know it's a slide here, just 1 second. As I said, as we're sitting here typing in questions you might have. Just make sure that's working. Okay, so it's clearly, it's some of you are attending the webinar today. This event is you can attend it from anywhere in the world, because I'm beaming it out to live. And to people like you who are still on such a great bit of information, so the thing is, there is just about an event like 3 days. So you can secure secure your discount, and also you can secure a bonus. So this is that so all you did anything you want, and probably guys, if you want to book your ticket, just on the put it after you were in Ireland. They were okay. Just while anyone might be thinking of a question, if there is any, and also guys, any feedback you have on what Andrew has shared in the presentation, guys, you mind, Andrew? Can you hear me okay, Andrew?
Yeah, I can hear you a bit,
Hello?
Dave. You're just breaking up a little bit.
Oh yeah, can you hear me okay now? Yes. Still gone, yeah?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Have you been able to hear me at all, Andrew, actually? A few people seem to
Just
not be able to hear me.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Okay. Well, I was saying, Andrew, if you wouldn't mind, if you just share a little bit about your experience at our last Formula for Success live event in March, for people who are on, just if they didn't know much about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoyed last year's Formula 6 success. The one of the probably most informal seminars I've been at in the last 5 or 6 years since I've been involved with alkalizing. You know, a wealth of knowledge and a lot of really enthusiastic people on it. I would recommend it for anyone who's on this call to join on.
Yeah, and you yourself
which is on the
are going to be. Yeah, and you're going to be involved as well, you know, so you're going to, you know, if you've liked what Andrew has shared for the last 35, 40 minutes, you know, again, Andrew's going to be sharing a lot more information throughout the weekend. So, you know, this kind of caliber of people get involved. You know, people have huge respect for people who are genuinely passionate about helping people like yourselves. You know, people, again, I agree with, again, Bob's and principle. You know, it's a huge opportunity for you to learn. And as I said, at the end of the weekend, you will have your own personal blueprint for success in all areas of your life, not just the body, mind, and health side of things. So, you know, make sure you secure your ticket. And as I said, any questions you might have, just you know, type into the question box. There's a question here from Ed in Limerick, actually, Andrew. It's about 7.2. He says the 7.2 shake class is a green drink. I'm aware of the 7.2 green drink as well, but I'm interested in knowing more of the benefits of shake.
Sure. Do you want me to show you through the products? Would that be okay? Or?
Sure. Yeah. I'll make you present it there again, and we can show that. That'd be perfect. And sure, while you're setting it up, you know, myself, I've been using these products for the last, it's almost 12 months at this stage. And I have to say they are without doubt the most powerful products that I have used. And I've used many, many products now for the last 15, 16 years. And I competed for the first time fully in triathlon last year, or this year, sorry. And the difference in the last 9 months of my recovery, so that's the big thing that matters to me a lot, is my training recovery was absolutely phenomenal. Plus, again, the nutrients and the ingredients, definitely the best ingredients of products that I have personally seen. But the bottom line is the effects I felt on energy and my training especially, and people I know and clients I know that have taken the products have found it fantastic as well. So you can just see the products there in the picture on the slide. So Andrew, work away there, just explain a bit more about them.
Yeah, I guess most importantly, Dave, is alkalizing, as you know, as from my experience of alkalizing, is it's an extremely difficult thing to do. Getting your blood down to a certain pH, you know, it requires a lot of effort, a lot of work on a day-to-day basis. So what our company is all about is making alkalizing easy for everyone. So what we've done is we've put together a phenomenal product line that's helping people improve their health every single day. As you can see, there are 4 main products of recovery. The 7.2 shake, the 7.2 greens, and the 7.2 alkaline booster. Just to answer your Ed's question straight away, the difference between the shake and the greens is the shake is a kind of a protein shake, but it's vegan, 100% organic, 100% vegan as well, and it's sugar-free, non-GMO, no gluten, soy, wheat, or dairy. So it's 100% natural and extremely good for you. It's made up of yellow split peas and sprouted brown rice protein, which is the highest standard of protein available. The 7.2 greens are there for anyone who wants to get more greens into their diet. It's probably one of the best tasting green drinks available, in that it doesn't actually taste like a green drink, because most people who taste a green drink for the first time, it's usually the last time, because most of the green drinks that are out there taste like the bottom of a lawnmower. In other words, it tastes like grass, whereas our greens actually taste great. They actually they're flavored with blackcurrant and apple, and the raspberry as well. They're organic, vegan, sugar-free, non-GMO, no gluten or dairy, and they contain all of the greens that you could possibly need in a day in one single scoop. So hopefully I've answered Ed's question. The other two products are 7.2 Alkaline Booster. So the Alkaline Booster is nicknamed the Hall Pass. So that's for days, for example, if you wanted to have a steak, or if you wanted to have, you know, the highly acidic food, you'd pop 2 of them in your mouth straight after the acidic meal, and it instantly brings your body back to an alkaline state. Recovery is for anyone who has excess inflammation in the body, is possibly suffering from long-term pain, from arthritis, or anything that's, you know, associated with excess inflammation in the body. It's got molecular hydrogen, which is the first time a company has ever produced a product like this, and it's, as I said, a first of its kind product, and it's patented by 7.2. You won't find it anywhere else, and it uses what's called molecular hydrogen to eliminate inflammation from the body. Okay, so I'll hand you back on to Dave.
Perfect.
If anyone has any questions, actually, or if you want to order the products, it's 7.2.com/formula for success is the website.
I'm going to type that in here. So guys, any information you want, just check. There's loads of great videos and loads of information on this site, so just check it out. Just going to type in here for you. Okay, so that's there. Okay guys, any other quick questions before we wrap it up? And I see a few people are after coming on the last 10 minutes or so, so you've got to tail end it. So, you know, just keep an eye on your email tomorrow. We'll be given a 48-hour access to recording, okay? But if you have any specific questions on the Alkaline lifestyle, just type them in quickly before we finish, and we can answer them for you. So just give it a second there and see if there's any questions. My audio sounding okay now, Andrew?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, great. There's a gremlin there for a little while, I think.
Yeah, I was a little bit lost halfway through that presentation.
Yeah. So I want to thank you for your time, you know, because, you know, it is late. It's you know, nearly 11 o'clock here in Ireland, and I know you've early starts every morning, so, you know, I really appreciate you taking the time, and, you know, really appreciate the friendship we developed as well in the last nearly a year at this stage. So, you know, it's great that our paths have crossed. And just thank you for your information and your time, and we look forward to having, you know, a great involvement in Formula for Success Live in just 4.5 weeks. You know, people are in for a real treat in what you're going to get to share with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Always a pleasure, Dave. And just wanted to share something with you guys as well. At this Formula for Success, what I'm going to be sharing with anyone who's interested is a 72-day alkaline-based food plan. Now, this plan I actually put together for a world champion kickboxer, and he's been using it for the last couple of months, and he said that after utilizing the 72-day plan, after the first month, his energy levels have gone through the roof. So that's going to be free for anyone who logs on to the Formula for Success on November the 1st.
Great, great. And I have an idea of, you know, the information that you have on your plan, and it's, you know, it is fantastic. So it's more great information, and that's again, what it's like what this webinar is about, this 100% free weekly Form for Success webinar. It's like the events. It's like, again, as I said, I only get certain experts and speakers on working with me that, I believe in what they're doing and they're truly genuine about helping people and sharing real information that will impact their lives positively. So make sure you secure your ticket. Again, at the moment you can get a $50 discount and you can get a bonus of lifetime access to recordings. That's worth $197 itself. So, make sure you secure it so you can get coached by me and coached by Andrew and coached by 5-time cancer survivor Dr. Marilyn Joyce and other incredible experts that we'll have on over the 3 days of the whole weekend. And as I said, you can watch it from home and you can access the recordings after as well. So Andrew, I think you've cleared everything up in terms of what people knew about the alkaline lifestyle. Like, people have been putting in brilliant, very informative. It's got me thinking about the foods I'm eating and how much I really need to change. Excellent webinar. Thanks Andrew, thanks Dave. So lots of great feedback, and again, I know you're passionate about helping people as well. So it's always great to get this information or get the feedback that you've helped people to, I suppose, become more aware of what they need to do and that they're ready to take action.
That's exactly it, Dave, and thank you very much for the opportunity. Just to let you know, this company 7.2, we're all about what's called the Alkaline movement, and the more that people that actually get out there and start talking about it, the better, the more informed people become, and the more educated they become, the less likely they will, be ending up in places where they don't want to be. Alkalizing is as important as regulating the temperature of your body, and the more people that are educated in this area, the more healthier we'll become as a human species, and essentially the more people will be thankful for it. So yeah, I'm happy to be part of 7.2, and I'm happy to jump on any webinar that represents this company or represents our view that we want to make people healthy, happy, and live life to the full and max by alkalizing and energizing.
Well said, Andrew. And that's where, it's like I say, even on the webinars and the emails, you can help, me to get more people on the webinar so we can help share this information with them. Same thing like tomorrow when you get the email that will give you the 48-hour access to recording. You may want to listen to it yourself again, or you may not, but get it out there. Send the link to people so that they can access this great presentation that Andrew's just done, and they can become further educated in why they need to start moving more and more towards the alkaline lifestyle. For, like we said, burn more fat, get more energy, and really importantly, from a longevity point of view and having a vibrant, fulfilling life, help to fight diseases. You become more alkaline and you dramatically decrease your chances of getting diseases, and also increase your chances of fighting diseases. The website again, I'm just going to type the website in again there. A few people asking about the products. So check it out. There's loads of information on it. I said videos and everything. So just go to the site, and if you have any questions, just shoot us an email and we'll be happy to answer them. So let me just put in here. Okay, there we go. Alright, so that's the link. So check out the 7.2 products. I said get onto us if you have any questions about them, or if you want to place any orders. Make sure you secure your live stream ticket for Formula for Success Live, where again you can join myself, Andrew, and other experts in helping you create your blueprint to transform your life. So thanks guys for being on. Thanks Andrew for your time again. Look forward to speaking to you again in a couple of weeks on the live stream. And guys, go out there, take action. Make sure you implement what Andrew said with the 4 steps, 4 action steps you get. Implement them over the rest of the week, and we can pretty much guarantee you are going to see an impact positively in your life. So take care, go out there and make every day a success. Speak to you next time.
Thank you, Dave.
Pleasure.